Hello, Wolfram Pack Amigo thingies. Today I want to talk about a news story that I find pretty interesting, and that is Drake's current legal battles. So in May of 2022, Drake and his team announced that the previous year in 2021, they had renegotiated their deal with Universal Music Group, which is one of the music industry's biggest labels. Now, Drake has been signed to UMG since 2009, but specifics of his deal were changed, and if we can find it here, let's see, what did they change? Okay, it says here it's estimated that this deal was worth around $400 million. Now, this is a 360 deal, which basically means, from what I remember, historically in the music industry, your label would make money off of, sales on your songs, but they wouldn't make money off of like tours and off of like merchandise. But a 360 deal basically says they make money off of all of it. So basically, this would be kind of a bad deal for most other artists, but since he's Drake, of course, he made a ton of money off of this, and he's such a huge artist that he's gonna have a lot of power in his negotiations with UMG. So then we get to November. In late November, Drake issued two separate legal petitions to Universal Music Group and Spotify. The first one was specifically accusing UMG and Spotify of colluding to boost the streams of Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. This is a bit of a ridiculous legal petition, and it's ironic because in the past, Drake has been noted for consistently being like extremely heavily pushed by Spotify. I think specifically Scorpion, his 2018 album, got that treatment. The second legal petition, which he filed a few days later, it was more specifically aimed at saying that UMG allowing Kendrick Lamar to publish Not Like Us was defamatory because the song includes lyrics that, accuse Drake of being a pedophile. What's the difference between a legal petition and a lawsuit? Well, from what I'm aware, a legal petition is, basically saying, hey, I want the courts to look for evidence about this issue so it could potentially be, brought up into a lawsuit. You're just asking the courts to do something on your behalf, basically. So this was kind of bound to fail. Then on January 14th, he dropped one of these petitions. Yeah, he specifically dropped the one about botting, but that didn't end up mattering because the next day on January 15th, he actually went and sued UMG. It's much the same as the second legal petition. However, there's one key part of this lawsuit, and I want to see if this article mentions it. Okay, I can't find it in here, but I'm pretty sure I saw another report that mentioned that in the lawsuit, they specifically alleged that UMG was doing all of this because they wanted to negotiate a better deal with Drake. And that gets us to the key point of all of this. And that is the deal that I originally mentioned, which this Vulture article talks about. There's a lot in here, which is interesting, but I think there's one crucial part. That is this section down here. Drake is going to renegotiate his contract with UMG this year. I tried to look for other sources that corroborated this. I couldn't find definitive stuff. I mean, I didn't look super hard, but however, I'm gonna trust that this is true, and it makes all of this make a lot more sense. While Drake definitely does have a personal chip on his shoulder, and he is, on a personal level very irritated by what Kendrick Lamar has said, there's plenty of circumstantial evidence for that. This is about that deal he made because it seems Drake is paranoid that UMG is going to renegotiate his contract and that they are going to reduce his pay. This article interviews 3 separate lawyers about the issue, and it says that they believe that he could potentially be trying to get out of UMG entirely. Either way, it appears that he's, kind of trying to, I guess you could say, bully UMG into either keeping his contract as it is, or giving him an even more favorable contract, or giving him a way out of UMG. Any of those scenarios would make sense. Now, do I think this is going to work? No, I don't believe this is going to work. I guess it's not impossible he could leave UMG, but I think Drake's goal with this is not even to necessarily win a lawsuit. I think that he and his team are very aware that this likely isn't going to go to trial, and that if it does, they're probably going to lose. Instead, I think he just wants to stir up enough publicity and, I guess annoy UMG enough to get his point across and say, all right, I'll end it if you if you give me a good contract. But I think that UMG very much realizes this, and I think they're definitely going to try to squeeze as much out of Drake as they can because he is such a high profile artist. And so ultimately, I think this is a dumb move for Drake. I don't think it's going to give him much leverage, and it is just embarrassing him even more in the public sphere, which he does not need right now. So yeah, I think this is pretty ridiculous from Drake. If it turns out to actually work, then I'll make an update video, you know, acknowledging his genius. I'll leave you guys off with this pretty cool tweet that I got on my timeline. I think this is pretty cute stuff. Alright, that's all I have to say for now. Bye bye, Wolfram Pack Amigo thingies. See you on January 20th.